I made it back just in time. It is starting to rain. So I came out here tonight to test a tarp. It's a tarp I've been using, the Kelty Noah 12, but I've never really had it out in any bad weather. And tonight it's supposed to be raining, close to 2 inches of rain, flash flood warnings, high winds, possible tornadoes, and even chances of hail. So it's a good night to test it. I don't have very much, and yeah, I'm just carrying my pack slung over my shoulder like I'm a kid going through the mall or something. But I still recovering from my shoulder injury, so I can't carry my normal pack. So I just brought this little pack, something I could just sling over my shoulder, carry my gear in. But I'm gonna get my tarp set up. I got lucky. I thought it was already gonna be raining by this point. With the forecast. I know the big storms aren't supposed to be until after midnight tonight, but I thought it was already supposed to be raining now, and it looks like it's a little south of us. But so I get lucky. I get to set up my hammock and tarp and stuff while it's still dry, so that's a good thing. So I wouldn't normally camp in weather when the storms are going to be this bad and everything, because you know, like this tree. I've hung between these two trees the last time I camped out here, and all these branches, all this stuff has fallen since then. And this one right here could have really ripped my tarp to shreds. So I normally wouldn't camp with the weather being that bad, just because I don't want to tear up my stuff, you know, tarp and everything, and plus a bigger tree could fall and, you know, land on me and cause me to have a very bad day. But I figure if the tarp survives this, then it should survive anything else, because you know, like I said, I won't be camping when the weather's that bad normally. So this is a campground I've stayed at before. If you watched a video with me and my son camping out, you might recognize the fire pit there. But this is on some private land, and a friend of ours owns, and me and my wife have built a campsite here, and this is also where we deer hunt at. Well, I just noticed that if you look at that, somebody's been here camping, and not only has somebody been here on the private property camping and everything, but you got a fire pit right there. You know, why did you do this, whoever that was? We haven't got our trail cams out lately for the deer hunting and stuff. We've been talking about it, but it looks like it's definitely time to get the trail cams out to see who's been using this and why. You know, that's just stupid when you got an established fire pit right there. There's a couple deer walking up here. I don't know if we'll get a shot. They're right in there. They should come out on this opening over here. No, they're coming through the woods. Here they come. A doe and her baby. She's got a little spotted fawn with her. Oh, I wish I could zoom in because they are right there. They should come along this field over here. Sometimes the deer will cut back into the woods over there in the corner, across this little opening, and go through the woods, and that might have been what they just did. Yeah, I think they ducked off. No, they're still right there. I see them now. Might get a shot of them. Yeah, they're heading off into the woods on the other side of that strip of that clearing. Normally if they cut through here, through this corner, normally they'll come down this road, and they might at some point. I don't remember if I just seen it, I've said it a few seconds ago or not, but I heard a turkey off to my right gobbling. They're still there. They're just right on the other side of those trees. As soon as I take the camera down, they'll walk right up here and I'll miss the shot. But I heard her coming out over there from that, near where the creek out over there. I heard her coming up from over there. But I didn't think they'd walk as close as they did. You know, I've got my tarp hanging and everything, and I was just out here talking to the camera. But yeah, I'd say they're in the woods. Chances are they're gonna go up just on the other side of this strip. If they don't come through it, they'll go right in the wood lines along over there and go on around me. But anyway, maybe I'll get a shot of them later. So this is what I was recording before the deer came, and I realized right when I saw the deer that I didn't have the camera running. So yeah, I stopped and got me a gas station cheeseburger and a Red Bull. That's my lunch for today. I'm really super healthy. But so I gotta say it all over again because it wasn't recording. But I'm comfortable being out in the woods. You know, mainly the animals out here, you know, deer, rabbit, you know, we got some turkey I just heard out there a while ago. There's coyotes out here and bobcats out here and stuff like that. You know, there are animals that could hurt you, you know, but I feel really comfortable being out in the woods, because animals just, you know, for the most part won't hurt you as long as you leave them alone. But people will hurt you just for the heck of it. And the fact that somebody's camped here on this private property in our spot, first of all, you know, it's safe to say they've been here more than once, because, you know, they didn't, I'm assuming, didn't just walk through this area. It's nowhere near anywhere where just random people would be walking by, you know. So I'd say they've been here before and then said, hey, we'll go there and we'll go camping. And, you know, they did, because their campfire, the remains of their campfire is there. And that also kind of makes me think that they probably come here, you know, more than just those 2 times, if they felt comfortable enough to be here and not worry about, you know, us coming through here or something. It's been a while. It's been a few months since we've been out here, and then it's been a while since they've been there, because you can see all the leaves that have fallen over time that are covering up a lot of that fire and everything. But I can come out here, and I came out here and it was nice and peaceful, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm in my environment, you know, where I feel at peace. And I saw that changed everything, you know. I don't know if that stuff affects other people or not, or if it's just me or whatever, but I heard an Indian talk once before, many years ago, about places being good medicine or bad medicine. And the short story is, it's kind of the vibe the place puts off. And I've definitely been across some good medicine places, and I've been across some bad medicine places, man. That places that just like, yeah, you know, we need to leave. There's something bad about this place. But yeah, for a little while, that seeing that fire pit and knowing somebody's been here multiple times, it kind of a little bit put that vibe in, you know. Yeah, I hate it, and and like I said, I don't know if other people feel that way or if it's just something I feel or whatever, but now you know, instead of like some people being out in the woods and they're like, oh my god, what was that sound, you know, I hope a raccoon don't get me or something. But now I'm kind of looking around, looking to see if those people are gonna come tromping back through the woods. You know, I just hate that, messing up my vibe, man. Don't come back. Now the way I have it set up here, get back here out of the way. Okay, so the way I have it set up here, it's in porch mode, and I'm bringing this down tonight before I go to bed, because with all the strong winds and everything, you know, with all these branches and everything that's all over the ground, a bunch of them could end up coming down and tearing up my tarp. And then especially if it's going to hail or whatever, and the strong winds, it just makes it easier for the winds to grab a hold of the tarp and possibly tear it up. So I'm going to angle the sides down, this side down like this side is, so it makes it less of a target and possibly hopefully do less or no damage to my tarp tonight. That's the plan anyway. I don't know if it recorded what I just said, so short version, hung my food bag up to keep the raccoons and maybe coyotes and stuff away, and we cleared this out some, and we knew the deer were going to start coming through here, you know, path of least resistance, instead of trying to navigate through all them trees there. And they have been, and they've been cutting across this little opening, and that's actually good for us, because my wife's deer stand's right there, and this is like a super highway. They've been coming through here right to our camp. And so then I said I wasn't going to start a fire because I thought I was going to be getting rained on. But then with all this clutter of all these sticks and twigs all over the place, I'm going to go ahead and start a fire just to burn some of the stuff, get some of the stuff out of the way. And then if it does start raining, then, oh well, fire can go out, no big deal. And I finished off one bottle of water. I drank quite a bit before I came out here today, but finished off one bottle. I'm going to finish off the other one where I'm getting the fire ready. Then I'm going to go down and check out the creek and fill up both of these bottles and filter both of them. And I'm not using any water for cooking tonight, so these should be good to get me through the night after I finish this one. And I'm curious about the creek. While I'm down there, I'm going to do kind of like a before and after, because the guy that owns this property says that because I've never seen the creek more than a few inches, or thigh deep at most in the deepest spot, but he said it gets really deep after a rain. So if they get all the flash flooding they're supposed to get tonight, I'm kind of curious, you know, kind of the before and after of it. But that's it. I'm gonna get fire going, I guess, even though it's 90 something degrees. I got the fire going, trying to get some of this just trash, all these sticks and everything that's all over our little camping area, trying to get all that burned up and done away with. These logs out here, we put them there as we were clearing. We're gonna cut them up as firewood, but all this ground clutter of all this sticks and stuff all over the place, and just trying to get these picked up that have blown down over the last several months, so I'm not tripping over them all the time. And then I'm gonna have to go get some water. It's starting to thunder off in the distance and everything, so I guess I need to do that pretty quick. Might have to move somewhere a little bit deeper. Hopefully I didn't wait too long to do this. All that rain coming in. so I refilled this one so I can either put the filter on there and drink out of it like a straw, or I can squeeze it back into this bottle when it's clean. I made it back just in time. It is starting to rain. I didn't get much wind or wood burn because there's rain coming in. You know, fires went out pretty quick, but made it back here just in time. So this right here is why I got into hammock camp. I was 99% sure I wanted to hammock camp, but when I seen some people sitting here like this in porch mode, I'm sitting here underneath like this awning. I got my hammock right here, and I got room. I'm sitting in my chair, nice and dry and everything. But I saw some people hammock camping on a video, and you know, during the summertime, like right now, if I was in a tent, you're all sealed in there, it's hot and stuffy. If you got somebody else in the tent down the road, I mean, just a little ways away from you, you know, you can't see each other, it's hard to talk to each other. But this, if I have my hammock set up here and somebody else has their hammock set up over there, we can still see each other, we can still talk to each other. It's got a lot of airflow through here, so it's not hot and muggy and humid and everything. But this, the porch mode, was the deciding factor when I said, yeah, I'm definitely going to do this hammock camp. That was my final decision. I mean, the final thing that put me over the edge that said I wanted to try it. Well, I'm already having to drop the tarp down out of porch mode. Close up that end, the rain's coming in from that end. Well, unfortunately, that happened a lot sooner than I thought it would. That wind was just blowing in there. It would have just been, you know, that harder rain without wind, it wouldn't have been an issue. But that wind kind of blowing in here to the end of the tarp and everything. So that there is what just rode through. I'm there with a blue dot, of course. So that's just one wave of storms that's going to be coming through tonight. I thought I took it out of porch mode the tarp a lot sooner than I had hoped to, but the wind was just blowing the rain too much, and when the wind was blowing really strong there, it was coming through the end too, and I thought I was going to end up having to close this end up, but I really don't want to yet because of I'm liking the airflow right now, and now tonight whenever I go to bed, because the wind's going to be big enough or that I know I'm going to get wet if I leave that open, so I'll close that before I go to bed. Close off this end and leave the this is the north end, and I'll leave the south end open. Went and got my food bag while there was a break in the rain because I'm going to give me something to eat. This food bag, by the way, is from Parallel 43. Pretty nice bag. I've been using it for a few months now. Really like it. I think I'm going to have some chicken. Yay, chicken. So I decided to open up this one, put this one side up in porch mode the other side still down at the ground. I just didn't want to be stuck here in the tarp, and I didn't know how soon the next round of rain is coming, so I didn't want to set it all up again and then take it down real quick when it starts raining. But this is one of the things I like about tarp versus tent, the versatility of, you know, the different ways you can set it up depending on the weather conditions and stuff, instead of just being in the tent and it's, you know, it is what it is. You know, you could really adapt your tarp to the weather. So it's one thing I like about it. Well, I got my food bag hung back up again, and fire. I burnt actually quite a bit of it before the flood came through, and there was no sense in even starting to redo it again, because it's just going to get put out again the next front that comes through here. So this is how I got the tarp now. I just kind of half porch mode, I guess. I just have the one corner up in porch mode and everything. That way once it starts raining I can get it put back down quicker. But it gives me plenty of room. Like when I'm in here, I can still, you know, I can still see out here and everything, versus that side, you know, where it's all closed off. I can still see out here and watch. I was watching the squirrels and the cardinal and other little animals running around after the rain quit. So that's pretty cool. So I got went out looking after the rain, went out looking for some deer sheds and stuff. Didn't have any luck, but just went out there roaming around, and going to be closing everything down here soon, closing the tarp down. Still debating whether I want to close this end or not, because the later on tonight, if the winds and storm and everything come through there like they say they will, then you know, I'll be wishing I didn't. I mean, wishing I did close it, but kind of like the airflow right now. So I don't know. I guess I can just jump up and close it if it does get bad. If I wake up, hopefully before I'm waterlogged. But I like this, man. I finally, it's a Lucy light. I finally broke down and bought one. I've been wanting to for months and months and months, and finally did a couple months ago. And I kayak a lot and everything, so this is waterproof, and it floats, and you know, it's aired up right now, but you let the air down and it squishes down to a small size. Solar powered too, so I really like it. Putting on a lot of light. But yeah, that's it. I think I'm going to get situated for the night, and if the storms come through like they're talking about, should be around 11 o'clock, between like 11 and 2 is supposed to be really bad, close to 2 inches of rain. So go ahead and get some sleep now while I can. Sitting here listening to the crickets and everything. The next round of storms is getting ready to come through. But a little tip for somebody that's might be new to hammocks. One thing you'll hear all the time is if it gets below 70 degrees, you can get cold in a hammock if you don't have an underquilt or something. So it's 72 degrees right now. I don't have an underquilt, but I've got my sleeping bag, and I'm kind of laying on part of it, and I'm off of part of it. Like the coming down from at an angle from my left shoulder down to about halfway down my ribs on my right side is off of my sleeping bag, and then part of my thigh is off of my sleeping bag. Like I said, I don't have an underquilt, but in those spots that's off the sleeping bag, I could tell if I wasn't laying on something, I would definitely be getting chilly. But it helps to regulate your temperature and your comfort. Like if I didn't have anything at all, I would be getting cold. If I was laying completely on my sleeping bag, I'd be a little bit warm. But I'm laying kind of, you know, part of my upper body's off of it, part of my thigh is off of it, and everything. So I'm getting a little bit of cool air, but not so much that I get cold. So it's a way that I have found, if you're not using an underquilt and the temperature is like right at that iffy zone where you can get cold, but it might be a little bit warm. It's a way I've found that you can kind of regulate your temperature for your comfort and everything. So I'm gonna go back to sleep. This rain is nasty on my beard. I'm gonna go back to sleep and get ready for this next round of storms. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. The storm, the bad storm that was supposed to come through here, ended up going south of us down in Kentucky. That figures the one time you do want to get caught up in the storm, and it doesn't happen. But I was laying here thinking, you know, of course I didn't build this tarp. It's a Celtic tarp, but I have built a tarp. It's an asymmetrical tarp. It's more of a just minimal coverage tarp, and I'm going to be building a full winter tarp. I've been trying to get this big tarp in as many situations as I can to kind of find out for sure how I want to build mine. I know I want doors on it and everything, but just, you know, any little features and stuff. Like the cat cut on this is too deep, you know, I want a shallower cat cut and all that kind of stuff. But I was laying here thinking that and I built this hammock. I've built the underquilt that I use when it's cold outside. I'm eventually going to build my own quilt and a top quilt and my tarp. But it's really cool to, with a little bit of skill, to be able to build something that can help you survive. You know, that it's kind of like a primal thing that you can, you know, do something. You have the skill to do something. You know, I've got the survival skills to build shelters, you know, in the wilderness and all that kind of stuff. But to be able to take these materials and build something that, you know, I can survive the elements and stuff in, and, you know, it's kind of, I don't know, just kind of meet that primal urge or whatever, you know, need to be able to meet those needs, you know, just basic survival stuff, to live another day. It's just I don't know, just kind of cool to be able to do that. Well, we ended up not getting those storms last night. It rained off and on throughout the night, but nothing bad. Yesterday was the worst. The storms ended up going south of us down in Kentucky, which any other time would be a great thing, but I was hoping to put this tarp through a hard time, and of course didn't happen. If I wanted to avoid the storms, we would have got nailed. Time to get up and get some breakfast and start working on packing things away. This is that Lucy light that I was using last night. I've got a smaller light that's about this big around, and it's about that thick. Of course, it takes up a lot less space than this. Weight-wise, this isn't much heavier. You know, when you get the battery and all that stuff in that other light that I've normally used. But I put off getting this for a long time because I thought it was just kind of gimmicky and everything like that. But the idea that it's waterproof. And solar powered, so I don't have to worry about batteries. That's a nice thing. But waterproof, like yesterday when I came back from getting water, I got here just in time to duck in underneath the tarp when it started pouring down rain. And if I would have had that other light that I'm talking about, you know, like clipped out to a tree or something as an area light, then I would have had to worry about, you know, I could have forgot that light hanging up there, and then it could have messed it up getting caught in the rain and everything. With this, you don't have to worry about it. And when me and my nephew went camping recently, we used this. It was the first time I'd used it, and we didn't have a campfire. We had this hanging up behind me, and we were probably about 10 or 15 feet apart. The fire pit was in between us, and we were hanging out talking and everything, and this light lit up that whole area. You know, we could see each other clearly, we could see everything on the ground clearly. Like I said, we were about 10 or 15 feet apart, and the light was behind me, and it's really great for an area light. And so my other little light that I carry is nice to hang in your hammock, you know, for just a small light like that, but it won't light an area up. But this is inflatable, it's waterproof, all that good stuff, and whenever you deflate it, it folds down pretty small. We had I've been really happy with it. I put it off for a long time because, like I said, I thought it was just kind of gimmicky, but I've been really impressed with it. The amount of light it puts out and everything. It's got a little strap here to hang from a tree branch or anything else, and I like it. But I'm thinking about putting a section on our website for like some budget gear and just having links to it, and then you know, stuff like this and this. See, that's how flat it folds down. So it's big around, but you know, you could stick it in behind something down in your pack. That's what I usually do, and it stays flat like that once you deflate it. But I've been thinking about making a spot on the website with budget gear, stuff like this, but more importantly, stuff like this Kelty tarp and everything. I think I paid like $60 something. I think now it's like 70. But you know, most tarps that you buy for hammocks, you know, they'll start at like 120, and get into the Dyneema tarps and everything, they're over 300. And oh, there goes a little deer. Man, she's running, a little baby. But you get into, you know, Dyneema and all that stuff, you can spend a lot of money. And budget gear for like underquilts and all that stuff too. Like for the underquilts and tarps and all that stuff, you know, of course I would rather people support the other cottage vendors like myself that make all that gear. But I hate for people to not even get into this type of camping because of expenses, or tent camping or anything. All that stuff can be expensive too if you go off the deep end buying the best gear at the time. But so yeah, putting a section on our website with links to good budget gear for underquilts, for tarps, for sleeping bags, you know, all that kind of stuff, and random things like that Lucy light maybe that you could use for any kind of camping or outdoor stuff. So that's what I'm thinking about, doing that. I don't know. I don't know if it'd be a good idea or not, but hopefully, if that's the thing that's stopping people from getting out there and camping, is the prices and everything. Hopefully if they could find some good quality budget gear, it might make the difference, you know, for them to get out there. And then later on, you know, if they really get into it and want to get better stuff, then they can go to the other cottage vendors like myself and buy, you know, better gear or custom gear or whatever. But I'm gonna set this off and go look. That baby that came running across here, she's pretty young, so I'd say her mom's nearby. I'm just gonna go look and see if I can get some pictures. one thing that's nice about that snake skin is I can, if it's really windy outside, I can pull the snake skin off so it's like it is right now. Stake down those corners and then pull it out the rest of the way and stake down the other corners. It's really helpful on a super windy day to get your tarp set up. That's what it looks like in the snake skin. Jump out of the way. So if you don't need your tarp right now or whatever, you can just keep it up out of the way, and it's there, pretty easy to deploy when you need it. This is one of the things I like about hammock camping instead of tent camping, is that this spot where I stayed at, even though it looks pretty flat, it's got roots and a whole lot of twigs that would have to be cleared out. There's a dip there, a little mound there. To sleep there would have been really uncomfortable. But I could, in a hammock, I could sleep on all this, you know, without having to move anything, which is nice for, you know, all the leave no trace stuff, you know. I don't have to clear out a spot. I can go hang somewhere and then nobody even really knows you were there. With a tent, you have to clear out a spot, you know, get all the sticks and twigs and everything out, and anything that's going to be uncomfortable in the middle of the night. And then you smash down all the vegetation where you're at and everything, so you're definitely leaving a trace, you know. People could tell that you've been there before in a tent versus a hammock. And the only reason yesterday I was clearing out some of these twigs and everything is because this is an actual campsite that we use, and just so we're not walking around on them and everything. Yeah, I got everything picked up. Everything's no trash and all that good stuff. Got all my stuff packed away, and of course, in typical fashion, as soon as I took down the tarp, it started raining. That figures. But I'm gonna get going. If you've ever used this type of backpack, that heavy canvas, Cordova, whatever material, you know it gets really heavy when it gets wet. So I'm gonna get out of here before I get too wet. But yeah, thanks for watching the video, especially if you stayed this long, and I'm gonna get going home.